Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another weekly forecast. And we're going to start off by looking at what happened last week and then look what we expect to happen next week. So you can see that from last week, we had a gap open at around 1970. This immediately pushed price up towards that 2000 level, where we then would have expected some sort of retracement to continue this sort of bull run. Last week's forecast was around about this area here, just before market open here, where I expected price to pull back down towards this area to then push towards the upside. However, we didn't get that because of market open changing. So as I said, that Monday can have an impact on the forecast. So we must stay nimble and we must adapt to how the market basically, provides its data. So because it went to the 2000 level, this area on the gap fill was now a very key area to look for your buys. You can see that price didn't fill the gap up on the Tuesday, I'm sure, and then spiked right below and then immediately came back up and then never looked back since, creating this sort of triple top area here where price then pulled back to a certain bullish order block. And all of this stuff is always pointed out on my VIP, so be sure to check that out. And then continued its way up by using this as a support level now, and then price pushed up almost to the all-time high. So it's a very interesting week for gold, but that all-time high has not been taken out yet. So we got very close to it, around about 60 pips, and you probably can see why I've got such a wide monitor now. I've managed to pick myself an ultra wide monitor, which really helps when looking at higher time frames and helps with charting in general. It makes it much easier to see a lot more on one screen. So you can see that we got to around about 2070 and the previous high was around about 2076. So pretty close, and I'm sure we should be going back to attack that if this consolidation area plays out. So what I'm sure we're having over here is an accumulation phase. So you can see that we had a strong push up, price came back down to retest some sort of order block that we have around about this area, to get some more power after this correction to then charge higher. So that is my main aim and what I'm looking for. The reason why I'm expecting this is, although we're in some sort of bearish order flow, this whole move here on Friday identified that this was a liquidity hunt, stop hunt. And if you guys know what Wyckoff is, this is the spring within the accumulation phase. And I'll be explaining more to the VIP members on how to trade this with my strategy. So with this spring, price came immediately made some sort of V-shape sort of pattern on Friday, collecting all the liquidity below these lows here and filling back up to close the day on a doji candle. If we go to the daily, you'll be able to see like so. Let me zoom in for you guys. There we go. So you got a sort of doji candle, which is seen as a reversal candle because price couldn't push any lower and the bulls came back in. So if I just zoom back in here. So what I'd be expecting for next week is some sort of retracement to then for price to start filling these imbalance areas above. The reason I say this is because what happened on Friday was a clear liquidity hunt over the previous lows, and then a place to stop out some retail traders trying to enter on this head and shoulders move here. So we have a certain head and shoulders here. When price broke the low, as you can see here, price broke the low, went into profit and immediately reversed, trapping all the sellers who were trading the breakout of this head and shoulders. This is a classic pattern gold does to trap retail traders. But if we know what this consolidation phase means, it means that this whole area is to stop out retail traders as much as they can to then start making pushing price up into the actual direction they wanted to go. So remember, consolidation, when it's in consolidation, you take it easy when trading and start holding for a short amount of time until it's ready to start impulsing. So I believe start from next week, gold should start, retracing into an area where you could potentially start holding for a general push back up towards the upside, which is a very exciting, especially on gold. when it goes into a bull run, you can see it tends to, fly, and it's very exciting to watch. Now, this area of invalidation, we must, look at both scenarios, because the fundamentals are starting to show that the war news is turning into a positive. So Putin mentioned that the war talks had a positive outcome, which caused gold to drop, and also could cause gold to push lower. So the area that I'm watching is this 1960 area, where price did spike up and push back up. If we do push back below this, we must assume that this accumulation phase is now invalid. Okay, so the whole idea of accumulation phase is to have it stop hunt, right? Trap the traders, and then price to continue pushing into that direction, at least to the resistance level where price could potentially start to reverse. So that 1960 area is a key level to keep an eye on for next week. In summary, what I'll be expecting is for price to either carry on and continue its way up here. However, if it hasn't had its retest, I'll be expecting for price to at least pull back within this zone, close towards 1965s, to then start making its move towards the upside. We could have certain reactions upon these imbalance areas, so keep an eye on them. But then I'm overall expecting price to start another leg up to the upside here. So that's pretty much the summary of it. If you guys want to know more on how to trade these setups, especially within WYCKOFF as well, and how to scalp, be sure to click and check out my VIP, is where I provide my strategy and trade ideas that I take myself. It's been a late Empire FX. Peace out.